what's up? It's your girl Kimray and I'm back with another Real Housewives of Atlanta review. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel, like this video, share this video, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Kimray Music TV. And comment down below on what you thought about this week's episode. So let's get into it. So I believe it's the second to last episode until the finale, and then we get the reunion, right? So we are wrapping up Eva's wedding, y'all. Let me get my notes together. See, I'm sitting here and I didn't even have my notes. I was on screen. I was ready, face, hair, bam, bam. But the notes, obsolete. Okay, so we're getting a look at everybody, you know, after the wedding. Eva's coming back from Greece. We're seeing like some pictures of them. She looked like she had a lovely time. She was glowing the whole episode. She has a glow about her anyway because she is kind of gold. Like the color of her skin is the color of my lips. So she has that glow anyway, and then the blonde hair, and you know. So Eva looks good. But Nene and Marlo. So Nene's headed over to Marlo's place. She's in the car talking to Greg. And he's asking her, you know, not to be over there too long because he needs her. And she's just going over to Marlo's, like, you know, probably to shoot this scene, but she's going over there. And, you know, Marlo's place is cute. She has this ponytail going on, and I just be wondering, at what age do y'all decide we don't need to do the ponytails no more? Anyway, she had the ponytail, it was cute enough, and Tanya comes over. So it's Tanya, Nene, Marlo. They're having cocktails and they are, you know, just discussing everything. Marlo dives right into the Eva mess. I don't know why Marlo is being so messy towards the end of the season. I don't know if she's trying to drum up enough drama to ensure she has a spot on the couch for the reunion so that she ensures she has a check. I don't foresee her getting a peach. I know that we have been trying, and at one point I wanted her to have a peach. But tonight, the mess was like too much for me, okay? She was indulging in finances and safety and saying that something was invalid about an ex. And, you know, as many men as Marlo has dealt with, I feel like she should understand when men get a little out of control, you know, the measures that you have to go through to ensure that a man no longer invades your space, your privacy, especially when it comes to a child. So she, basically a bridesmaid of Eva's, has given Marlo all this information about Eva and her lifestyle. At the beginning of the episode, I felt like, how does Marlo know all this? And why do we deem her credible to know all this information? Towards the end of the episode, I learned why, okay? But, so she's telling all the ladies, you know, Tanya's feeling uncomfortable. They end up calling the bridesmaid, putting her on speakerphone so that she could, you know, tell everyone that she doesn't own her home. It's rented. The house is in someone else's name because of her credit. Then Tanya's trying to say, you know, her baby daddy or her sperm donor is crazy, so that's why she has it. And Nene's saying, you know, no, you don't go through those lengths when it's something like that. It's got to be something more serious. So I'm like, the fact that you guys are indulging in this woman's business like that. Financial hardship, that's the phrase, or those are the two words that Marlo used. Who doesn't have financial hardship after a wedding of that magnitude? You got some financial adjustments that you're going to have to make after having a star-studded wedding like that and a star-studded honeymoon that you go on. You come back, you're meshing of two homes. Are you going to be in the city? You're going to be outside the city. It's a lot of stuff that goes down, but I wouldn't expect Marlo to know that. So I did not like this whole conversation here. Now, even if Marlo was messy here and was telling Nene and telling Tanya, the very next time we saw Nene, it should have been a conversation with Eva, is what I'm saying. They waited until the OLG part 2, or the store opening of the number 2 party or soft opening, to try to ambush Eva with this information, Nene and Marlo. So Tanya kind of took that, and I'm glad she did. Okay, but I'm skipping ahead, so we're gonna move on to the next thing. Let's see what's Candy. So Candy's chilling with her family on her big sectional. I think she has like 2 or 3 of those. I really want one. When we get in our position and we have all of our stuff figured out, I want a sectional like that. We already have a sectional, but that one looks like it's like huge, and it's just me and him, but I just still want, that is a huge sectional. It looks comfy. And we're long people. We're both very long. So they are discussing the surrogate. Basically, Candy's telling Mama Joyce, because it's Mama Joyce, both teenage daughters, Ace and Todd and Candy. And they're telling Mama Joyce that they have decided to go with the, I was about to say sectional, with the surrogate. And Riley don't look too happy. Now, Riley feels like y'all not ready to be kids, because see, I'm not trying to be here babysitting. I got my glow up going on and I'm good. What I'm telling you is that all of that, it's not going down, okay? Ace is cool. Me and him, we figured out a relationship. I like him. But y'all bring somebody else up in here, I may not be as cool. What I'm telling you is Stella got a groove back, and I'm not about to be babysitting. Okay, so I was totally feeling Riley. I was just like, you know, I feel what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but ultimately it's not your decision. But Riley feels like it is her decision, because Riley is the one that be watching the kids, clearly. Riley's like, you know, I'm gonna share my opinion because I got good skin, my hair is growing, I'm lean and mean and vegan, and I'm saying no to the pizza. So I have a voice, okay, and you gonna hear me. And I love this new Riley. So Mama Joyce shares with Riley, you know, I wish that I would have had more children, because, you know, you guys know that Candy's brother, he was killed, or he has passed. And then Todd is also sharing that he wished that he had siblings. He was the only child. And so, you know, in retrospect, they wish that they had those other siblings and other children. And so Riley can understand that, but she also feels like, I ain't trying to babysit. Okay. Portia is getting ready for her big gender reveal party. She is doing a walkthrough through a house that she had like some lingerie shoot at, and it's her and Dennis, and they're walking through with these event planners for some like circus carnival theme, right? And I just love Portia. She just makes me smile. They're walking through and she's getting excited about the popcorn and the cotton candy, and so they sit down, you know, to crunch numbers, and they're saying they're sparing they are not worried about money, okay, because it's her first child. I think it's his first child. I don't know. She made some comment about, you got 2 kids and you're gonna be married now, this your new life. So I don't know if that means they're planning to have another kid or he has another child. I don't know, but he is kind of older. I wouldn't be surprised if he had another child before this one. But anyway, they're sitting down there discussing that. So then Dennis brings up the prenup. At first I was a little offended, like, why are you talking about this prenup? Like, Portia don't want your money. But then I realized Portia also wants the prenup, because she feels like she's worked for all these things prior to Dennis. Makes a lot of sense, and she wants to be able to protect that. So I feel like, you know, being married and newlywed all of 1 year and a month, finances is a very hard thing to discuss. So I do like that they're going ahead and getting it out of the way. I can imagine that it's very hard to discuss when you have all of these businesses and, you know, you're very successful. Now, me and my husband, we do okay, but we are not nowhere near the caliber of Dennis and Portia. And even our finances, just adjusting and discussing different ways of doing things was a little difficult and a little uncomfortable, and we're still figuring our way through it. So just thinking about all that Portia has and all that Dennis has, I know that the conversation can be tough. So I respect the fact that they are talking it out. So yeah, they talking about that, and y'all, we saw a preview of the gender reveal party. We know that she had a girl. We know that she just had the baby. So congratulations to Portia and Dennis, child. They named her Pilar, I think. Was it Pilar? They had so many P names, but congratulations to them nonetheless. All right, so Eva and Candy are catching up, and they're just recapping on everything. Eva's talking about her honeymoon. She looks beautiful with this tousled high ponytail. And, you know, she's telling Candy that she's got to move. Candy thinks it's very weird, because she's like, where's she coming from with all this? Why is she telling me all this? It's not making sense. And she later puts it together. They all think that something else is going on. I think that Eva don't need to tell y'all what's going on, to be honest. She can literally just say what she said, and that's it. I don't have to explain to y'all what's going on. Because see, the magnitude of what's going down in Eva's life ain't for this TV screen, is what I'm feeling, okay? But anyway, they're discussing that. The gist of it is she's gonna be moving. Nene and Greg, guys, I feel like Nene she's getting dragged so bad on Twitter, because it's like she keeps telling Greg, you know, you're grumpy and I don't like the way that you have been talking to me and it's just bad, and it's just not making her look good. Because one thing that Greg said that I kind of assumed, but I can't even begin to imagine. So basically he said that, you know, when you have cancer, a lot of different things are happening to you. You're not even aware of your emotions. You're not even sure about your body. And that's true. Your body is essentially attacking itself. And now you have a deadly illness, sickness, and now you could feel fine, but then, you know, you're not fine, and that can tear on your emotions. It's like you reflect, just like I said in that other video, you reflect on, how did I get here? What can I do to change this? You know, you might be cranky, you might be sad one day, you might be happy another day. And you should not have to explain that to nobody, because you're already having to go through it. And that's something, it's not equivalent, but it's kind of like when you had a long day, right? You were at work and people were it was just a lot the whole day, just stuff after stuff after stuff. When you walk in the door, you see your kids, or you see your husband, or you see your wife and your kids, or your dog, or whatever. You don't want to explain to nobody nothing. You want to you want to take your shoes off, use the bathroom, grab a drink, sit down, breathe through it, and then maybe you can vocalize some of what happened in your day. But imagine that on like a grander scale. You have something going on with you that you can't even explain. And so now someone who's used to being catered to in the relationship does not feel like she's being catered to. She's used to being the center of your attention. And now you are no longer the center. She is no longer the center. And so now it's like she has a problem. Now, at first I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, because I felt like she had a problem with the way that Greg's speaking to her. Nobody wants to be spoken to crazy. I get that. So yeah, let him know how the way that you're speaking to me, I don't like it. But also, Nene, you have to keep in your mind that he's not speaking to you crazy because he wants to. He's speaking to you crazy. It's just like a child when they throw a tantrum. They're not really crying about anything. They just want your attention. In this case, he's speaking to you crazy because he's frustrated about his situation. And maybe you're the one that's going to get it. Now, if you were the nurse will be dealing with it. If you were the caretaker or whatever, and well, you are the caretaker, I just think to crush all of this, you just need to hire a caretaker. Because you're so affected by him and his attitude, and it's not going nowhere, at least until all this gets handled. And so it's gonna take a toll when you have to wear two hats like that. I can imagine, like, if you were a music artist and you were the manager and the talent. I mean, I can imagine if you were a music artist and and your husband was your manager and your husband. They're wearing dual hats. The stress bleeds into both. You are not just solely the caregiver. You're also the wife. So you have things that you require and that you need as a wife, but there's things that he needs from you, the caretaker. So it's just a lot going on. I kind of feel where she's coming from, but then I also feel like he's dealing with a whole lot more than focusing on the way that he speaks to you. And it's sad, but that is the for better or for worse, through sickness or through y'all know, hell. Let's see. So anyway, we move on to the old lady gang soft release. Rashida's there, always looks good in the blonde. All the ladies are there with the exception of Portia. She has sent flowers ahead of time, and Candy feels like, if you're not going to attend my event, it's going to be equal. So you're not going to attend mine, so I'm not going to attend yours, just so you know. I appreciate the flowers. Now, Candy, I want you to know that Portia did not attend your event, probably because your crew is messy. And when you forgive someone and you're good, your crew is setting up stuff and still being messy, and it's not cool. You need to have a board meeting And you need to let them know this is not okay because I'm cool with this person now. Let's reform our alliance, okay? But anyway, all the ladies are arriving. They're saying how nice the place is. They're trying the food. Everything's going great. So when Eva gets there, Tanya feels like, let me take her aside. I don't want her to be ambushed. And I like that about Tanya. Nene was saying that everyone was agreeing, you know, when Marlo and Tanya and Nene were sitting down, they were agreeing that Nene was the best one to speak to Eva about the situation because she was the closest one to her. But I think Tanya felt like I sat in this and was in the midst of all of it. It would be wrong of me to not discuss with her. Also, she sat down with Cynthia the day before, and Cynthia suggested that she tell her. Now, Cynthia was mum's the word and did not mention any of this while, you know, Nene was getting upset and talking to Tanya like a child, which is totally not okay. But besides the point, so Tanya tells her, Eva, you know, she's just shocked. She knows exactly what bridesmaid it is. It is Shanita. And she made a comment that weddings and funerals bring out the ugly truths in people, and it is so true. It is so true. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? But it's so true. So, you know, Eva talks to Tanya. And then she decides, I'm gonna leave. And I honestly feel like because when the real world meets your reality TV career or your job, and it's too much for it, leave. Do not make them or have them force you to have all your information, all of your business out in the streets for entertainment. Eva felt like this girl who was very close to her, she considered a very close friend, was out of line and acted in a way she had never seen. She just found out about this when she got back from her honeymoon, about her choking up the wedding planner. I forgot to tell y'all that. So she just found out about that. So it's like she still has to deal with that, still very fresh. And so for these girls on this petty show to be discussing it as content, she's clearly annoyed, right? Her having to move, she probably also felt like this is not business that I want to discuss in front of this camera because it is very serious. I have a restraining order against this man. We heard her and Michael later on when Nene went to go speak to her saying, you know, the FBI is involved. It's a lot going on. I said, Kevin McCall, is that crazy? You know, he writes some good music though. So anyway, I don't know. I thought it was weird that Cynthia didn't speak up. I thought it was out of line the way that Nene was speaking to Tanya as usual. I don't know what her problem is when it comes to Tanya, but I really don't like it. I thought Marlo's blonde hair was really pretty, but she also came in with the mess and I did not like it. The way that, you know, Eva did end up coming back when Nene explained to her, got her to come back to explain her story and control the narrative. That's what Michael was telling her, because you are on TV. But it was like she came back for nothing because Marlo's sitting there saying that she's lying, talking to Candy right next to her. And it's like, this ain't your business, Marlo. Why are you fueling and getting so thirsty off of my information? Meanwhile, you have 15 mugshots that you have yet to explain. Nobody knows where your money's coming from. This is just, you know, I liked Marlo. Marlo is very fun, fashionable. I actually follow her on Instagram. But as it pertains to other women, she can be very messy and I just don't like it. I don't like it. She's doing a whole lot of kissing up to Nene and I just don't know why. I don't know why. So, you know, Eva's having to explain somebody that she was very close to just did some foul stuff on her wedding day that showed a lot to her. It's still being dealt with, still very fresh. And then she also she moves a lot because of this crazy ex. He's technically committed no crime, can't be arrested. So for the safety of her child and the safety of her new family, she's got to do whatever she's got to do in her family. And that is her business. That should not be on the chopping block. And Marlo, you know, questioning her sincerity and her integrity was just so doggone messy. So anyway, y'all, that was the episode. You guys let me know down in the comments what you thought about this week's episode. It was very messy. I don't like the way they did Eva. I don't like the way Marlo's acting. But we gonna see about this reunion because Nene acted a fool. And we get to see Kenya next episode, child. I just don't know. Nene just keeps looking batterer and batterer and batterer, okay? So I'm Camray. This is Camray Music TV. Make sure you guys subscribe down below to my channel. Like the video, share the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!